wanders through the Lake District, bagging Wainwrights and outlying fells. With his trusty Ibiza cap and rugged good looks, his name is Dave Ostor, the mountain man. He wanders through the Lake District, bagging Wainwrights and outlying fells. With his trusty Ibiza cap and rugged good looks, his name is Dave Ostor, the mountain man.
Welcome back to another video, and welcome to the Isle of Skye. I'm not alone with Mr. Dave. Here he is, hiking Viking. We've just taken a day of travel to get here to Portree, and then the bus north to Rubha Hunish, which is where we are now, at the north end of the island, just in the little bothy here. I think we've struck gold on the weather actually, so yeah, looking out here. This is the northern coast of Skye, just here, and we're going to be walking just around the edge of it towards Floody and the Kerrang, where we hope to pitch on night one. So let's get cracking. This is what I've been looking forward to for 6 months now. We decided we're going to do this walk in November last year. A lot of planning's gone into this. I've watched a lot of videos, not too many, I don't want to spoil it, but I knew this was here. That is just absolutely special. Look at the colour of that sea today. Anyway, we're going to be following this coastline right round to Floody, so a lot more of this to come, I think. Landscape is just spectacular, and I'm a little out of my comfort zone on Skye, even in Scotland for that matter. I can't just be looking over there and pointing at all the hills and telling you what they are. I've absolutely no idea. I just know it's called the Trotternish Ridge. It goes up to about 600 metres, and that's to come on day 2 of this little trail. It's probably the hardest day of the whole trail, in fact. It is an adaptable trail, you can do it in a few different ways, but I think we're going to try and stick and head to the most southern point of Elgol, which isn't the most southern point on Skye, but it is for this trail. It's far enough, but you have to negotiate these boglands up here to begin with. Don't want to get wet feet on day 1. I think that might be a Burkett, Dave. Are we having it? I need that one. I'll come back for it. I'll come back for it another day. Rubha Hunish and look out Moffy. And we're back on the sort of road level now. We're still just hugging the coastline round to the Kerrang. Cliffside walk is absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to do any talking on it. I really don't know what I'm looking at, so apologise about the extended scenery shots, but it's better if I just let the island do its talking for itself, you know. It's absolutely wonderful. Look at this, it just keeps going. Vertical drops. You don't see these very often in the lakes. There's a little cave there and everything. Look at these sea stacks. Wow. Jesus Christ. Now there probably should be a fence there. How close can I get without my hat blown off? Holy shit. The abyss. In other people's videos, just like, what happens if I just jump down there, you know? We'll survive. It's the void, isn't it? Just the void. If the world gets any better than this, I've yet to see it. Random. Anyway, we're coming up to 4 hours in. We've been walking nearly 6 miles to this point. You can see the bothy just on the distance there. Just passed through the Sligachan Hotel. A little bit hard work to find the right path towards it. As I say, this isn't an official trail. It's kind of on the way to be, and there's a lot of like sort of dodgy paths where if it was official trail, it would probably have like slabs put down and bridges, you know, to cross. So yeah, there's no actual marker posts to guide you. So we are actually using a paper map today. But yeah, I'm just gonna follow this road just after the Sligachan Hotel, and that should swing us round up to a low level lock where hopefully we can get pitched, because we've got about an hour till dark. So we've made it to the little locken. Some decent posters round the edge of it there, but Dave's found a cracking spot on top of this little mound here. Great views out to sea and back inland to the Kerrang, where we'll ultimately go in tomorrow. So yeah, we can grab some water from down there, so that's handy. So yeah, let's get the tent up. Right, so we're all set up in the tent for night one. Dave's in his Hilleberg. He's happy now, he's knackered, so am I. And me in the old Nordisk Telemark 1. Yeah, it's time to get some tea on, I think, because there's not much light left. Think about tackling that in the morning. The menu tonight is beef and potato hot pot. This is my favourite one. I had this on my first camp on Binsey with Dave pretty much 2 years ago to this date. Exactly, so been looking forward to that all day. I've had no else. pasta ball a day for breakfast. We go 3/4 of a mile up from the loft we camped at. Here's the second one. Still just swing around this edge of it. It must be a warm day, the rest of the week in fact, so yeah, what we had yesterday was as bad as it gets. We'll take that. You know, easy to pitch, very little wind overnight. Aye, very pleasant. This is the hardest day of the whole trail, which is the Trotternish Ridge. It's a good 16-17 miles to the store from here. We're not sure we're going to make it that far, but we'll give it a good crack. We've set off at 8:30 this morning, so yeah, good 12 hours of daylight ahead. Look at this place. Is that over there, Dave? Kerrang's East Top, a singe. I'll have it. Oh look, you've got a mini Crinkle Crags there as well. It's times like these I'm glad Dave Allen isn't here, because he'd be egging me on to go and bag that. Safety today. Once again, there'll be a lot of scenery shots on today's video. It's just better to let the Isle of Skye do the talking for itself. Dave crashed his drone all the way up there. I seen it though, I went and got it. He's happy now. Knee damage. Anyway, let's crack on. Probably a singe. Another Birket there. Got to come back and bag all these, huh? Bag the Kerrang. But yeah, shortly we are going to be dropping down onto quite a busy car park. This park has been super busy today. It's a random Tuesday morning. It's as busy as Scarfell Pike on a bank holiday Monday. Just above Dave there is the ridge we're heading for, the Trotternish Ridge. Actually look like you could go and bag it. There's a bit of a trod down there. Probably come round the back here. Didn't think I'd like to balance up there though. Been the dodgiest bit of the walk so far, especially with a big pack on there. Can't afford to make too much of a mistake because it's quite a big drop and these rocks are wet, so you just have to really take your time. So, just had a burger in the old car park there, very tasty, a can of Coke. That's given me energy to get up the Trotternish Ridge, which is what we're now on. And that's looking back at the Kerrang just over yonder there. But yeah, very busy spot. There's a reasonable path here as well, so let's see how far we can get along it today. point of this fell, so they're coming home with me now.
20 quid.
20 quid. You owe me a pint for finding your drone anyway, so call it quits. Right, so that's pitched up on night 2 of the Skye Trail. It's only just came to my realisation that I've been reading the map wrong, or I skipped a section of the map, so fells I've been describing today have been wrong. What we have just descended there is Ben Idra. I skipped a page and I thought we were a bit further along the ridge, but no. But anyway, we plan to head to the Storr, the old Man of Storr, tomorrow and pitch up there. The ridge is really tough, you can't underestimate it. There's so many ups and downs, and they are quite significant ups and downs, you know, so I'm talking quiet because we do have neighbours today. Two North American ladies. We'll just help them find a pitch out of the wind. But yeah, it's not the most glamorous pitch tonight, but it's still a nice view of the coast. I don't think there's a bad pitch on Skye, to be honest with you. We seem to be averaging about 10 miles a day at the moment, but this is sort of the mountainous section, so it will get easier. Right, I want to get some tea on and get myself to bed, and I'll bring you back in the morning. Well, we have a summit here of some kind. It's something in Gaelic. Apologies, I haven't researched these fells. It's not really about the fells this trip, it's just a multi-day hike, but as morale is as low as it's been really. We're starting to get some views of the Black Cooling Ridge over here, and that's perked me up. I don't know about Dave, but that's kind of the first time I've seen them, because last time I was on Skye it was fully clagged in. Well done, Dave. Well done, that's one down. Next one I do know how to say, which is this ridge here, Flass Vein. So this is one of our 3 remaining reasonable sized descents before we start dropping down to the Storr and Portree, but I don't think we're going to get to Portree today. It is still quite some distance away, but this is rather magnificent up here. Bloody windy last night. Tent held up well though. It's the first real test I've had in it in wind. It was alright when we pitched, but yeah, I think it must sound worse than it actually is, because it kept me up all night. I didn't have as good a sleep as the first night. I was a bit slanted on the pitch this time, and anyway, I think I got about 2 hours most if I did. Had to refill the hot water bottle 2 or 3 times. Just to keep warm. Definitely need a better sleeping bag. That's an error I've yet to rectify, but yeah, still feel strong this morning. Didn't have much to eat last night. It's weird, you don't feel like eating, you know. I've had a couple of mug shots and I've had some porridge this morning, but yeah, definitely within a calorie deficit, but hopefully it'll assist with losing a bit of weight. You just want to lie down when you get your tent up at night and chill, you know. Okay, here we are on another fell top of Flass Vein, it says on the map, but it's probably pronounced Flaven or something like that. Well done, Dave. It's another one ticked off. Oh, and cracking views as ever. Like I say, probably should be a railing along here. Idiots might fall off, or sheep. Magnificent. The only thing I can remind myself of something like similar to this in the Lake District is possibly the Elgol Head Wind Ridge. That's got quite big drop-offs, but this is 4 times as long and there's Knee Lake at the bottom. It's just a vast plain moor of nought really. There doesn't seem to be much water coming off these mountains. It's quite hard to find water up here, and that's represented down here as well. There's not many little puddles for such a vast area. But anyway, a couple more climbs to go till we'll be on summit of Hartival, the highest point of the ridge. So yeah, the next top here is called Craig Lane. It looks a bit striding edgy, that, doesn't it? Coming off there. Right, here we are on another summit of Craig Lane. I think that's how you pronounce it. It does have a cairn. Now, this is a sneaky one because it's slightly off the Skye Trail. The Skye Trail goes down that dip over there, so you kind of have to come all the way out here to pick up the high point. But anyway, this is the route ahead now. This is an optional summit here, which I'm not going to bother with because the path just skirts in front of it up to our next fell of Bakarua. So that's the summit just back there, and steeply down here we go. Oh, it's not as steep as I was expecting, but yeah, you can see the path well grooved in now, just going round onto Bakarua. So we're dropping down to about 494 meters here at the bottom before heading back up to 639. This is one of the last 2 big climbs of this whole trip really, so the end is just about in sight of this mountainous section. Listen to that. Absolutely nothing. Just for your information, there's not really an escape route off this ridge either, so if you come up here, you're pretty much up here till you get to the other end, because looking about, there's very little ridges down, just sheer vertical drops on this side, and very boggy wilderness on the west side here. But I was just thinking, I don't want this to end now. 2 more hills on this section. 2 weeks from now I'll be back at work, and I'll be thinking, God, was it really 2 weeks ago I was standing there in the wilderness of Skye? I need to take this in. I need to take this all in right now. Like I say, there isn't much water on this entire ridge, but we have just found this little natural spring, and it's quite clean and tasty water, so take that opportunity while it's there as we finish off up to Bakarua here. We are on Bakarua, 639 meters, and yeah, this is a great shot of the whole wilderness here. There's more of it over this side here, but look at that. This is the ridge that we've came from. You can still just about see the Kerrang in the distance there, and over Ben Edra, Flasvein, and the last one just there. This is where we're headed now, just following this ridge round. Just down to Belak Hartival. That's it. Last climb, like I say. up to Heart of Isle at 669 metres. It's quite brutal. So right, the path up this last fell of Heart of Isle starts off really good, but it kind of just splits into so many different ways and you don't know which one to take. You end up going off piste, but it's quite safe. You're just heading for the ridge line. My concern now is Dave, he's not well at all. It can't be easy, it's very hot and my legs are burnt sadly, but I need to complete this one, so regardless of what Dave does, I do need to finish this walk. I've done the hard work. It's a nice day. Tomorrow and Friday supposed to be the two best days of the week and I can really power in some mileage. So oh, there she is, the summit of Heart of Isle is just inside there. I'm bloody exhausted, my spine is going to snap. I've only done 6 or 7 miles a day. There's another couple till we get pitched up, but the good news is it's mostly descent from here. Oh Christ. Right, here we are at the highest points of this version of the Skye Trail. Heart of Isle, 669 metres. Oh, boom, we'll take it. I say this version because there is a version that goes over the Storr and down the rest of the Trotternish Ridge on the smaller fells down there, but that's no fun, is it? What we're doing is skirting the edge of the Storr and dropping down to the Old Man, where we'll find a pitch for the night. But look at this view, back towards the Trotternish Ridge. Anyone who does that, I salute you. That was tough. It'd be tough without a backpack on. Just up and down, up and down. It's probably taken best part of a whole day's walking to get across that. Well, split over 2 days, but yeah, that's not easy. But what does make it easier is look at these views. You've got a view out to sea here. You can see Stornoway and Lewis and Harris in the distance there. The Hebridean Way is on the cards, providing I succeed with this walk or other trails, but this side here you've got this wonderful plain with these huge drops. It's got it all. Isle of Skye. Oh. I must say all these summits, or most of them on this Trotternish Ridge, are optional to pick up, you know. Dave decided to bypass this one. I think he's on his last legs. He's just keen to get his tent up and have a long rest. It's a bit of a short day today, so we should be pitched up about 5 and have a chill for 4 hours just in this sun. But yeah, me being the mountain man, what would people think of me if I skipped a summit? Especially that one. There we go. And there's a closer look at the Storr, 740 something metres I think it is up there. All these crags dropping off the end. That's it, so we're just dropping down to the Belach here. And about halfway up the mountain, about another 30-40 metres of ascent up there. And that path will take us around the edge of the Storr. Here we are, digging deep, last ascent of the day to this path over here. We are now on the other side of the Storr. I'm going to drop down this side of it looking for pitches. There's plenty up here, like. We do have a decent amount of water as well. Can't get enough of all these islands out in the sea, just probably no one ever visits them. But yeah, this path should swing us around the front lip of the Storr here. Swig at the trig. I'm just saying we could do with the E now, Butchie. We're gasping for a pint or something fizzy. You're good for carrying the old Stellas.
Yeah. Send a pizza.
Send a pizza. I think we got a delivery pizza to the Old Man of Storr. That would be futuristic, won't it? They'll probably use drones in the future and they'll be able to do that. to watch yourself along this path. There's a bit of a bad step there, and like I say, with the pack on, they're not easy. Right at the end of the day as well. Oh, we're down and heading to the old man. Right, so here we are. We've scrambled up to the old Man of Storr. What a magnificent beast that is. This one's just as good, but this is the one that gets all the attention. Look at this place. Oh, so much rockfall, land slippage. Absolutely wonderful. You can see Dave down there just flying his drone about. What a glorious day. Perfect way to end it at the old man. That'll have to do for bagging it, Dave Allen. I can't get any further up there. We'll take it. Oh wow, we've even got a flyby on the old Man of Storr. Watch the size of this plane. Oh, there it is. Look at that, flyby on the old Man of Storr. Big American aircraft. Wonderful. We can actually see Portree in the distance, and that's where we're heading tomorrow. Just down from the old Man of Storr, just up there, and I found this bank just out here. A couple of flat pitches, and we've got a nice view of the sea with that looking down over us. Right, that's us all moved in, pitched up for the night. Nice loud spot, a little cold, but time for tea. Chicken tikka with rice tonight with some wraps. And naturally we'll have a cup of tea, so hi. Chicken tikka with rice. It's alright, huh? Cheers. Okay, that's us on day 4 of the Skye Trail. It's just gone 7 AM. We're heading down to the old Man of Storr parking. Now our route for today to Portree is over this lock ridge line here. It's only up to about 200 to 300 metres of ascent, so it's not too much. And that'll drop us down to Portree. Depending on what time we get there, I might stay in a campsite there. If not, I'll crack on a bit. But I think Dave's sadly decided to return home. I appreciate him coming with. I would never have started this walk if he never came in the first place, so I appreciate him coming this far. It was a tough day yesterday, last 2 days, but I've had a good sleep there. I've actually got a few hours in there quite comfortably, and it wasn't that cold. So right, let's get down here and over to this ridge line. Right, so just said goodbye to Dave there. He's going to get the bus back from the Storr car park, and we're heading over towards the ridge to Portree. These are the Storr locks. It's the most water I've seen all trip apart from the actual sea. Anyway, heading over here shortly, just a little short road walk. The trail should take us up along this ridge here. The alternate route, if you went over the Storr mountain itself, would take you, this is sort of the south end of the Trotternish Ridge, and that would drop you right down onto Portree pretty much. So there are two alternate ways, but I guess you could just walk the road to Portree. I think the objective is just to walk from north to south, you know, so you do you, but I think this looks a nice route and it's got a lot of bit of mountains involved to keep me interested. And here is our turn off just here. It's a road, in fact. That's taking us just over there. So we do start at about 150 metres up today, and we are heading up to just under 400, so still a bit of a climb, but I think this is the last significant ridge of mountainous ridge on this entire route. So good thing about the trail from here is sort of never a million miles away from a bus stop. When you're up on the Trotternish Ridge, there's no escape. You've got to do it or go back the way you came. Both are very painful, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to quit. I had doubts last night. I was thinking, oh, I've done the hard work. That's what you've got to keep telling yourself. You're tired at the time and you just want to quit after doing that ridge. You just got to tell yourself it's going to get easier, and yeah, so far it is. It is hard waking up in the morning though. You feel your legs are going to fall off. Once you start walking again, you get up to pace and you get in the rhythm, you know. Luckily there was a little bathroom at the Storr park in there. I was able to wash what I could after a few days of not showering and wearing the same clothes, so I must stink a bit, but what can you do? Very faint start of the trod over the ridge. You don't tend to see this on other people's videos, I've noticed. You get to see the glorious Trotternish Ridge, but there is another ridge on the way to Portree. It's smaller and less well walked, it looks like, because there's a new bugger path up here that's formal. At least there's a path now. Small winds and that. See, when your mood's not great and you've got a boggy mess to come, you just got to stop and look where you are, you know. This is always going to cheer you up. Nice coastal view, wonderful. Path's good now. You can go over tops of all these fells, but there are bypass paths around them, but I don't think there's any avoiding going up that big bugger at the back there, so anyway. Draw power from that. Is looking towards the alternate route of the Skye Trail. There's the Storr up there and you'd come down here. This is a little bit kinder in terms of ascent, but it is more miles, so right, so making good progress along the ridge here, but I don't have any sunscreen. I've got quite badly sunburned legs yesterday, so I don't have any sun cream, so I've got some mud and that seems to be cooling it down a bit, and that seems to be helping, so I'll let you know how that pays off. I stink of shite anyway, so a little bit of mud on me ain't gonna make much difference, probably freshen me up. Oh, more ups, more ups. We're just coming to 0.349 metres on the map before we drop down to about 260 again. But yeah, that hasn't been fun really, walking through that. You still see the old man over there. We're approaching the first large summit along this ridge. I think it's an unnamed one, just at 349 metres it says on the map up there. Tell you what, the old singe bagging hasn't half helped on this route, because you're often off paths and you kind of stumble on them again. They're kind of in the obvious places on the edges of the ridges, but there are some sections where there are no ridges and you just having a bit of a free-for-all. Oh, up there. Okay, we've made it out of the quagmire and I've just passed a gentleman there doing it from south to north, and he says this next section is very pleasant. I've just informed him the section he's about to do is the opposite. But anyway, what we're looking at here is largely our last ascent, and we can now see Portree just in the distance there, edging ever closer. Oh, a can of Coke, that's all I want, something fizzier. Look at this approach to a mountain, absolutely fantastic. Nice clear paths, grassy bank just sloping up to the top there. Oh, I'll be sad when this part's over. So this is point 362 on the map, another unnamed little summit here. That's looking back at point 349 meters, and like I say, this should be our last fellow day at 392. It's got a name, if I can pronounce it. It's Silthian Belak Coming. Odd name, but anyway, we'll bag it. Sure, I can spot a trig up there for our final fell, but this is it. Like the Michael Jackson tour, this is it. The last pull, big pull of the trip. I just hope it doesn't end like Michael Jackson's This Is It tour. But a little trig to reward me. Look at it, I can almost taste it. Bagged our final fell of the trip there, Scythian Belak Cumain, something like that, at just under 400 metres, so pleased with that. It's all pretty much downhill now till Portree, and I don't think there's much on the rest of the route in terms of fell bagging. That's about it. But these drops are just absolutely awe-inspiring. I'm sorry if I'm filming too much of them, but I can't get enough of them. Don't see anything like that in the Lake District actually. Right, so we're just about to drop down into Portree. That's the hill I've just bagged there. Probably one of the busiest summits I've ever been on. I can't even see it. It's got a trig though. Anyway, I thought I'd sit here and have a look. One last look at the old Man of Storr in the distance with my eyes. It's probably going to be a long time before I'm back up here to see it, because I do want to go and do some of the Munros in the black cooling and more in the red cooling there. So much more to do. I can't imagine myself coming this far north up on Skye for quite a long time, so I might be quite an old man the next time I see that. God, it's a boggy, clarty mess coming down from that fell. Oh, barely any paths as well, so if this trail wants to become an official trail, it's got a hell of a lot of work to do on it to make it. I don't think it'll ever get done, it'll just cost too much money, you know, but it's still a good trail, which makes you swear a bit. There she is, the lovely Portree. I don't think I'm going to stop there tonight. It's only going to be 1 o'clock by the time I get there, so I'm going to fill up on some snacks and some fizzy beverages. Portree, couldn't really do much filming there, it's absolutely ram-packed and it's boiling hot. I've had downed about 3 cans of Coke there, so I'm stocked up and ready to go on. I've done about 10-11 miles so far today. I'm just going to see how far I can get. I was tempting to stay at the campsite there, I could freshen up and things like that, but it's just a bit off the trail really for comfort for me, and it's quite early still in the day, so I thought I'd push on. So yeah, just a mile down, a bit of road walk in there and turn off through the forest. Nothing signposted, like I say, there's pretty much nothing signposted on this trail, so you do need a map and be a sharp reader at it, or have your GPX, you know, because yeah, you could easily miss that. There's nothing to suggest you would take it. So it's only just coming up to 3 o'clock, so I thought I'd walk 3 or 4 more hours to see where I get to and find somewhere random to pitch up. I think this bit here is just to get you off the main road. You could just use the main road, but you know, they've added this little trail on here, I think. I'm beginning to wish I took the road. It's different. I've not seen anybody else on this part of the trail. I've seen loads back up on the Trotternish Ridge there. You ask somebody doing the Skye Trail and they all go, yeah. Maybe they think the Skye Trail is just the Trotternish Ridge, not the whole thing. Because yeah, it's been a bit barren since we left that of people carrying big backpacks. So I don't know. I think the Trotternish Ridge is good enough. That's what we should have done in hindsight, really. Sort of Rubha Hunish, the top of the island to Portree. That would have been enough, or the Storr even. Some herons just knocking about there. See what I mean? There's a little warning sign on this section of the walk saying if the river's in spate, you probably won't get across. I don't think it's in spate today. It looks quite calm, but we do have to cross it round here at some point. Oh, thank God. I was getting a bit worried there. They must mean this little bit here. That's not too bad. I'm starting to think I'd get across there at some point, but we're just approaching back on the road now for a bit more road walking. But yeah, very nice path that was. I enjoyed that. It's kept me off the road, the main A87, for a good couple of miles, and yeah, barely any ascent or descent. I think you would have to be careful just in case that river was in spate, but I don't think it'd be much trouble if it was, to be honest with you. But yeah, we're just joining the road here. We're heading to the Sligachan hotel basically, and you could just use the main road to get down much quicker, but for some reason they've diverted us off this one. It's still a road, but I assume it's going to be much quieter than the main road, so you might get a bit of peace this way, although it does add on an extra sort of 4 miles. And we turn right here. Sligachan, 7 miles, but that way. Isle of Skye camping pods. Sounds interesting. But this is the way for us. Bloody hell, it's just a long old road. It's alright. I think we can now see Loch Sligachan in the distance, and this is Ben Tian Veg, 400 odd metre mountain. As all the mountains on Skye look massive. Like, is it because we don't know what they are really? You go somewhere new and it's like, wow, look at all these big hills here. If we're in a Lake District, that would just be like, I don't know, Catbells or something. Even bloody Trotternish Ridge is only 600 odd metres. Wouldn't even be as high as Grisdale Pike. So, yeah. Must be some sort of aura of being somewhere new that makes the mountains feel and look bigger. At this point in the day, they all look fucking massive. I'm 15 miles in at the moment today. Little village over there called Camstellan Veg. I've just looked it up on the map, see if there's any facilities. There's a picture of a phone box. So you can make a detour out there if you need to phone somebody. I'm thinking, it's not so stupid, is it? I mean, modern technology now, we've got mobiles and whatnot, sat navs and what. I bet when this trail was being done 25 years ago and folk were lost or hard up, they probably made a little trip over there to that phone box more than once. So yeah, maybe shouldn't snigger at little things like that. A little hamlet with a phone box could have saved somebody's life one day, I suppose. Now there are paths up the fells in Skye. I mean, forget the Munros for now, with the ones that we've just done. There are paths, sort of, but there are multiple routes. You know, you can't go, oh, which way should I go up Heart of Al today? No, you stick to the basic faint trod. It's like they barely developed all them fells in the northern peninsular arm. I'm not entirely convinced there's any point in adding this extra road section on. You could just go straight down Sligachan from Portree. This just adds on 3 or 4 extra miles. I don't know if it's just to pad out the route or not. The route's hard enough, folks. There's been not of note really to see here. I know we're going to drop down into Loch Sligachan, which might be a nice view, but seems a lot of work just for that. Right, and according to the watch, we are now 40 miles in, bang on halfway. Nowhere significant, but thought I'd mark the occasion. Cheers. Right, so I've done 17.5 miles today, and I've decided I can probably make the Sligachan campsite, which is about another 4 or 5, so I think you can just rock up there and pitch, so we're aiming for that. It's a big long walk along Loch Sligachan, but we're invested now, so a nice shower awaits. I think we've got all sorts of facilities, so yeah, Sligachan campsite. There's the loch Sligachan, which we need to walk down the length of that to the campsite. Quite a lot of cars coming down here. I don't know the reason why, because on the map it seems to be a dead end, just a walking footpath at the end of it. So yeah, this is a glorious hotel resort down here. We'll find out. Old phone box, selection of books in there. Oh, that's what's left for today. 3.2 mile. Let's get it on. Huh. First person I've met on the trail all day. Lovely German fella there. He's just doing it from south to north. He's just got to this point and I've just informed him of the 9-mile road walk to come, and just about broke the poor lad's heart. So I think he's going to find a spot to pitch around here. Some nice ones around here, to be fair. But anyway, that's our destination for the night. At the end of that loch, 3 miles away, Sligachan. This is what a face looks like 20 miles after walking. Oh my god. Knife edge stuff, this. Not easy at all when you're tired. I've got to go very slow on here. Oh dear. There's multiple lines of paths along there, and now it's brought me down to the shore, but I think there are some that you can stay up high, but as painful as it is right now, this has actually been quite a really fun path. If I wasn't so knackered, one of the best paths you'll do. Walk alongside this loch, and there's loads of waterfalls and features. Actually, I haven't got time to look at them. Oh, thank Christ, we've just about made it. It's coming up to 7 o'clock. I've been walking since 7 this morning, 12 hours. Coming up to 23-24 mile. And there's Sligachan's campsite just there. We stopped taking bookings at 8, so I've had to bomb it down along this path here. Still got an hour to spare from this point, so should manage alright. Oh, but the day doesn't end there. Oh no, there's 2 rivers to cross without bridges across them. The first one was alright, but this one looks a bit sketchy. We are at the start of day 5. We've seen the statue there of Colleen Mackenzie, pioneers of this area. Etched a lot of the roots in the cooling over there. Probably, I would say, the most fearsome set of fells in Britain. You just look at them and like, don't come up here. But, yeah, next time I'm back to Skye, it'll be one of them ones. I think this is Ambassador up here there. So I know that because I've seen Scotland's Mountains video. Needed a route up there. You can do the full ridge, which is about 9 Munros or so, but you do need a guide, I'm told. So I don't know. I won't be going up the inaccessible pinnacle anyway because I don't do abseiling, so I doubt I'll ever bag the top of that, but I'll go and touch it anyway at some point. Hopefully I can gain enough experience myself that I won't need a guide eventually. I can just forge a route. We're getting there. But anyway, we're heading up Glen Sligachan. just now. It's fairly comfortable. Like I say, all the mountain climbing is pretty much done, and we're going to be heading down to Elgol, which is about 10 miles away from here. I slept well again last night actually, got a good few 4 or 5 hours maybe, if I'm lucky. But I woke up, everything was soaking at about 4 AM. I couldn't get back to sleep from there. Your sleeping bag touches the top of your tent and it's condensation and it wets your sleeping bag and that seeps through to you. I don't know. I'm going to persist with that tent because it is my style tent, just very lightweight and not much, easy to set up and things like that, but it has made me consider a bigger one, just so there's more room. You can't even sit up in that tent, you know, you've got to do everything lying down, but I can manage if it means less weight I'm carrying. What I have noticed on this route is I've bought food in my bag for 5, 6, 7 days. You don't need that amount of food. By the time you get back to your camp, you're not, for the night, you're not wanting to eat much, you know, you're knackered from the day. You barely have the energy to eat a Mars bar, you know, let alone boil up your jet boil and wait 10 minutes for one of these freeze-dried meals to heat up, and I don't think I'd have the energy to eat it anyway. So I think something light from the future, just, I don't know, some like mug shots, something like that. That's what I've been having the last few nights, just easy, just pour it in and away you go, and very light as well. So I don't know, I'm starting to see the freeze-dried meals at like 13 quid a time, and not very good value for long distance hikes. Maybe the odd one night out where you just want to treat yourself, but it's you're not going to use them on a multi-day trip, I don't think. We're moving down the glen here and looking over to the Black Cooling. Further east from them over here is the Red Cooling. Oh, and I did manage to get my first shower in 5 days at that campsite. It's £12.50 to pitch there, but I probably used about £12.50 worth of hot water from that shower. And when you're doing these multi-day hikes, you can't really squeeze a change of clothing in your bag, although I managed to fit one pair extra of socks and underpants. So today I have new underpants on and I don't smell like shit. Well, I smell like shit, but at least my socks and underpants are clean. Oh dear. We're over, I think. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't easy. Right, it's about 3 mile in. I've covered my legs up today with these base layer. I can't afford to let that sunburn get any worse. Oh, it's brutal. Kept me warm last night actually, but no, I might lose my legs if I get any more on that. So here we are at Loch Duva, or Duba. This is where the path splits. You can go up this path here and also it adds about 3 miles on. It takes you around the back of this hill here and around onto the Bagged Step. Now if I was more experienced I'd likely do that, more experienced at multi-day hiking, but my goal right now is just to complete this trail. Right, so there's a nice shot of the Black Cooling past Schoonagillion, and yeah, I wonder if that's the inaccessible pinnacle. It looks very pointy. Might not be. Like I say, I'm guessing in this area, but well, it is a stunning ridge. I'll have to do it one day. Here is where that path splits. If you want to do the longer Skye Trail, you head over that ridge and drop down that way, but be warned, there is a bad step. It's quite exposed over the ocean. If you fall, I don't think you'll die, but you're getting wet. We're going to continue right down here. This is heading us towards Hamasuri Bay, so about another 3 miles from here and we'll be there. Oh, legs are feeling heavy now. Every step's a pain. Some serious pain now. I think yesterday's just really done me in. I thought it'd be quite easy today, but it has been. It's quite flat mileage. I think I'm still going to get to Elgol, the south point of the island. I might call it there. It won't be the full Skye Trail, but I don't care. It's north to south in my eyes, that'll do. I just don't think I've got the... I'm going to do myself some serious damage if I walk all the way back to Broadford from Elgol and largely road walking again, so I don't know, excuses, but I think Elgol's going to be good enough for this north to south trip of the Isle of Skye. Right, so just the other side of this ridge here is Kamasuri Bay, and that'll leave me about 4 miles to Elgol from there. I am going to call it Elgol. Failure or not, I don't know. It's a success to me. I'm running on fumes. I'm going to have to go really slowly. I'm just hoping they do buses from Elgol. It looks like they should. It's a little village, so I hope I get there in time for one back. If not, I'll have to camp there and get one in the morning. But yeah, there's no chance I'm walking the rest of the route to Broadford because I'm running on empty. And there we go, Kamasuri Bay and the bothy. Wonderful. And Elgol is behind the second of these two lumps. That's a rather large cairn. And that's to signify, but we'll have it. Oh, there we go, Kamasuri Bay. I believe there's a little bothy over there. I don't know what that is. It's like a fully established bloody house. God knows how they built that here. Oh, that was a long glen. Glen Sligachan. Better speak. So this is another one of the alternate routes here. There's a path branching off and heading up here, and this will take you to Blaven's south top, which is 4 meters lower than the actual summit, but you can't really get to the summit from that way. It's quite a dangerous scramble between the two tops there, although it is a shortcut to drop down to the other side of Blaven, which if I had any ascent left in my legs I'd probably take that right now, but I think it'd be better to touch the southernmost point of Elgol there for this trail. At least we can say we've done north to south, I suppose. Good grief, there's a lot of litter here. A lot of plastics washed up. It smells of shite. Don't let that put you off the place, it's lovely. Jesus Christ, look at this. Very well used and abused. Kamasuri Bay. Oh well. I cannot bring myself to leave this place. It's so beautiful, minus all the plastic and waste, but it's like one of them iconic places in Britain. Will I ever be back here? It runs through my mind, things like that, like with the store the other day. Well, how old will I be when I see that again, if ever? You know, this is quite a hard place to get to. It's a bit out of the way for most people. Like I say, Skye is a whole day journey for most people, isn't it? So it's one of them places that you see on the TV and other people's videos and you think, oh, wow, that looks so remote. When you're finally here, oh, it takes your breath away, it really does. I don't have the vocabulary to describe this, so I'll just pan you around. Big one. Beds in here. I'm tempted to stay here, you know. It's just gonna be too early in the day. Elgol. Sign this visitor's book, I think. Fruit. Yeah. A whale skull or something, or a dolphin skull. Vertebrates. Right. I'd like to stay here, but it would be too spooky alone, so let's crack on to Elgol. Sadly, it's a bit of a climb out of Kamasuri Bay. Hopefully it's not too much. But even a little at this stage is bloody painful. It's just along this coast here. That wasn't easy. Put this pack on. Bit of a knife edge path as well. Let's hope it improves. This is not easy. Bloody hell. These paths are just so... I don't know what the word is. They're just so higgledy-piggledy. I mean, it's a route, but you could never call this an official trail, I don't think. It's just sort of mental. Look how close this is to the edge. It's ridiculous. That's a big drop. Oh my god. Oh, grinding away. About 2.5 more miles to Elgol. Oh, this is some of the hardest walking I've ever done. It's not really even up a mountain. Oh, look at this view though. That'll cheer me up, probably. Just round this second mountain and that'll be Elgol. So about 1.5 miles to go. Still more of this crap, just ledge walking, ups and downs, bracken, branches. But I'm just taking my time. Get to Elgol in one piece. Oh, what's left of me anyway. It's so hot. There hasn't been a cloud in the sky for the last 4 days. Not even a little breeze. That would have helped. A little bit of rain even would have helped. Oh, we made it. 3 and a bit miles of absolute hell. That climb up out of Kamasuri Bay has got to be the hardest thing I've ever done walking. Try to consider if you had a day pack on and you were just doing it as a nice walk, but no, because you'd have to come back. There's only one path there and one path back. You'd have to use it twice and it's awful. Oh my god. And there we go. A little piece of civilization in once more. After 12 miles walking since we left Sligachan this morning, we have the little village of Elgol. It's quite busy down there, so I think I might sign off from here. This is the southern tip of the Skye Trail. This is my Skye Trail. There are a number of different versions of it. None of them are official. I think you just make the best of what you can. But what me and Dave Hewitt, who started on the trail with us, have done, we started at Rubha Hunish, the northern point, and have made it down here to Elgol with his assistance in the first few days. It is a brutal trail. You have to be mentally tough, hardened fell walker. This will test you. It's far from being an official trail anytime in the near future. There's paths on here that I will never use again, not even for a day hike. But anyway, if you've made it this far, fair play to you, as Dave Allen says. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you back out on the fells very, very soon. Peace. That was the Skye Trail, and I'm just going to give you my final thoughts on the walk as a whole. That was hard. I mean, very hard. I am sunburned, my hands are swollen, my feet, I don't have any left. It's going to take me a few days to recover, but I feel good. I feel proud of walking from the north end of the island to the south It's not an official route, as I say, the Skye Trail, and it is recommended for hardened walkers. Now, I wouldn't even call myself a hardened walker. I only read that a few days into the trail when looking at this map. You know, it's an official trail like the Cumbrian Way, West Highland Way, you know, even the Hebridean Way. I believe they've got markers and well-maintained sort of paths, or it's obvious where to go, and there isn't much of that on the Skye Trail. You're basically told to start at a red phone box, which is fine, and there's a path to the bothy, lookout bothy at the north of the highland at Rubha Hunish. From there, it's make the best you can of it, really, walking south. Now, there's sort of a guide to follow, and I knew the first 2 days were going to be hard. Me and Dave Hewitt, we prepared, took a lot of food, and in a lot of cases, too much food, actually, is what we found, because when you get to your camp at the end of the day, you're not hungry, you know, you are shattered, and particularly on these first 2 or 3 days that Dave was with me, we did the Trotternish Ridge and the Kerrang. The Trotternish Ridge, now it's a few 600-metre mountains, which doesn't sound a lot, but there are paths, but it's up and down, and you've got to carry at least 12 kilos. That is just so heavy, and you're stopping all the time, and yeah, a couple of 100 metres up and a couple of 100 metres down, it just adds up, and then you've got to find somewhere to pitch, and you're constantly thinking about, oh, where can I get water? There's not much water up there. There's a few little springs dotted about, which I've marked on the video. Luckily for us, the rain wasn't on this particular week, and I don't think we'd even have made day 2 if it was raining, because the morale would have just been depleted. And when Dave left me at the old Man of Storr, I was gutted, you know, but I knew everything I needed to know to progress to the next stage. I just wanted to see what I was made of on that particular day. I nearly called it quits myself on the old Man of Storr, but you know what, I thought, right, if I can at least get to Elgol, that'll have done north to south, and I've got something to shout about. And yeah, I am pleased with myself. It was kind of a failure, really, because I didn't finish the full trail, but that's good enough for me, you know. Can I recommend the Skye Trail to anybody? Absolutely not. No. Because I'll get into that after days 1, 2 and 3 on the Trotternish Ridge. From there, I thought, oh, it's got to be easier for me, because all the contours on the map from there are fairly flat. It looks comfortable on the map, but some of those paths were knife edge ridge walking, and they're not maintained whatsoever, really. There's branches, they're overgrown, and you're carrying a big pack and you're trying to fiddle way through branches and twigs and trees. I met a guy on the track who said he almost stepped on an adder, which led me to believe that I probably almost stepped on it as well. I just didn't see it because it was only about 100 metres behind me. I'll tell you more about that same fella in a moment. But yeah, Kamasuri Bay, it was okay to get to from Sligachan. That was the most comfortable part of the walk, but because I was following on from a 23-mile day and 9 of that being road walking, my feet were on fire. My feet were good for the first 3 days, but the road walking, you're just pounding the same pressure points over and over again, and oh, it's just so painful. But I found even a valley walk quite tough, but it is a very long valley, and you get to Kamasuri Bay, which it's like an oasis, you know. There's a bothy there, it's lovely, and then you're looking over to Elgol and you're thinking, where does that path go? And that's what I've just explained there. It's just this knife edge cliff drop right into the sea, or some rocks below you into the sea. Oh, it's just dreadful. And on a hot day like it was, it just made that particular section walking towards Elgol absolutely atrocious. 3 miles of that from Kamasuri Bay to Elgol, and this is when I'm really at my lowest point. I eventually do make it to Elgol, and the video ended a bit abruptly because the same gentleman I met on the trail who nearly stepped on the adder
seen me struggling in Elgol. I was looking for a bus really to get back to Broadford, and he said, do you want to lift to Broadford? And I thought, you are my guardian angel. So Carl, I think his name was, very much appreciated. I think he saved my life there, and I managed to get a bus from Broadford back to Sligachan and drove home. Set off at about 7:30 at night, got home back in Carlisle about 1 a.m. in the morning, which was a pleasant drive. There's very little traffic. But no, I cannot recommend the Skye Trail. What I would do differently, if I was going to do it again, or plan or looking at a walk like this, the first 3 days that me and Dave have done were brilliant. If you did the walk Rubha Hunish to the old Man of Storr, absolutely plenty. There's so much to see on those first 3 days, as you've seen in the video. It makes the rest of the walk a little bit anticlimactic, although yeah, still some cracking spots. But what an island, the Isle of Skye. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's rugged, it's brutal, it's unforgiving. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Thank you to Dave Hewitt for joining me, because I wouldn't have started this walk solo at all. So at least he got me going for the first 3 days. So I appreciate him coming for that section. So yeah, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you back out on some regular mountains very, very soon. Peace.